This is macOS Ken.
An interesting downgrade for Apple shares, questionable Apple product leaks out of Russia, and oh so many OS betas. It is Tuesday, the 8th of October, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. Not unlike last Tuesday's drop of about $5 for Apple shares, it was more than just a negative note that sent Apple down about $5 yesterday. A piece from CNBC Monday had the Dow off by nearly 400 points. That was said by the report to be due to rising Treasury yields, as well as a surge in oil prices. Rising oil prices were again driven by tensions and hostilities in the Middle East, reacquainting us with last week's foil, uncertainty. So no, it was not just a downgrade from Jefferies analyst Edison Lee that sent Apple shares sliding on Monday. Again, though, they likely did not help. First, let's reintroduce Edison Lee. Lee issued a couple of naysaying notes around iPhone late last year and early this year. Both had iPhone sales in China sliding precipitously, thanks largely to competition from resurgent Chinese phone maker Huawei. Personally, I found it hard to take his notes super seriously since he wasn't the guy who covered Apple for Jefferies. The guy who covered Apple for the firm was Andrew Yerkowitz. Not anymore. A piece from MarketWatch says Lee took over Apple coverage for Jefferies over the weekend, and he brought a downgrade to the party. Interestingly, his issue is not tied to Huawei this time. It's tied to smartphones and AI. For the whole sector, artificial intelligence-enabled smartphones, it is a bit early in his estimation. Quoting MarketWatch, smartphone hardware needs rework before being capable of serious AI with likely timeline of 2026-27, Lee said. He noted that smartphones lack high-speed memory and advanced packaging tech that facilitate rapid data transfers, and he said that while companies are trying to improve in this regard, it could take several years before they're ready for commercialization. That said, he thinks Apple is well positioned for 2026-27. The way he sees it, Apple is the only hardware, software integrated player that can leverage proprietary data to offer low-cost, personalized AI services. He thinks Apple will be able to charge $10 a month for some sort of Apple Intelligence something, though, again, he's thinking at least a couple of years down the line. Between now and then, MarketWatch says he thinks sales expectations for the iPhone 16 and perhaps even the iPhone 17 may be too high, hence dropping his firm's rating on Apple shares from buy to hold. A piece from The Street has Lee putting a price target on Apple shares of $212.92. You know, he doesn't make it easy to take him seriously. Have you heard about the giant leak of M4 Macs that's maybe happening, maybe not actually a thing? Apple Insider ran a piece Monday under the headline, Russian YouTubers keep showing off alleged M4 MacBook Pros in possibly historic Apple leak. Possibly seems to be the operative word. The report has word of 2 Russian YouTubers showing off 2 of the alleged devices. I want to skip those, though, to go on to what's wrong, unusual maybe. There are some discrepancies between these boxes and Apple's current retail boxes, says the report. Like the format is completely different on the spec stickers, the wallpaper is the same on the alleged M4 MacBook Pro boxes as the M3 series, which plays into the potential that these are fake. There are other packaging changes or discrepancies listed by Apple Insider. It kind of killed the whole idea for me. Why would the wallpaper be the same from one year's model to the next? Meanwhile, the actual machines featured in the videos are said to be indistinguishable from some of today's M3 MacBook Pros. Apple Insider lists the chance of these being actual leaks as possible. At the same time, the site says we won't know for sure until Apple announces whatever new Macs it's going to announce, whenever it's going to announce them. Doing it for the lulz, maybe. Chumming the waters with disinformation, maybe. I feel like if you say it all out loud, it sounds less likely. But we'll see. Monday was a big day of OS betas. Apple seeded a few for the public testing crew and a few more for members of its developer program. Starting with the public peeps, pieces from 9 to 5 Mac say they were seeded the third betas of iOS 18.1, iPadOS 18.1, and macOS Sequoia 15.1. Yes, they get to keep plunking away with Apple Intelligence, but there's other stuff that is new to do. Features new to the iOS public beta include a feature for sharing from Apple Music to TikTok, toggles in Control Center for AirDrop and Satellite, new controls in Control Center for Measure and Level, and others. If you're in the public testing program, you know how to get what's got to be gotten. Everybody else, you can play along at beta.apple.com. While public testers lag back with the third betas of this and that, several pieces from Mac Rumors have developers charging ahead with the other. Seeded to developers on Monday were the sixth betas of iOS and iPadOS 18.1, as well as macOS Sequoia 15.1. They were accompanied by the fourth developer betas of watchOS 11.1, tvOS 18.1, and visionOS 2.1. Monday seeds brought one weird story. A standalone piece from Mac Rumors had the sixth beta of iOS 18.1 and the fourth beta of watchOS 11.1 turning on sleep apnea detection. If you're like me, you thought that was already on. And we were correct. The functionality went live when iOS 18 and watchOS 11 were released for folks with Apple Watch Series 9, Apple Watch Ultra 2, and Apple Watch Series 10. That last one was released a few days after the aforementioned operating system updates. So, what did yesterday's betas do again? Well, they turned on sleep apnea detection for people who have been playing in the future. According to Mac Rumors, people running iOS 18.1 and watchOS 11.1 never got the iOS 18 and watchOS 11 updates that added the feature, which means it has been missing for many beta testers until now. You have been playing in the future, but now the past is catching up with you. I think we just started writing a techno thriller. Word of a darkening iCloud. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece Monday that had Apple rolling out a design refresh for iCloud.com. The update brings dark mode support, along with additional customization options and changes to iCloud Photos. Running quickly through a few, the piece says dark mode will happen automatically if the device accessing the site is also running dark mode. Users can choose different colors for the homepage background, and iCloud Photos is said to bring new tile options and the ability to modify the date, time, and location of your photos from the info pane, all with faster navigation. The changes are all up now at iCloud.com. Apple's global head of procurement is making his way to the exit. After 24 years at the Cupertino company, Apple Insider says Dan Roskis is set to retire. 24 years at Apple, 2 in his current position as VP of Global Sourcing and Supply Management. A report from Bloomberg says Roskis' longtime deputy, David Tom, will take his place. Apple's HomePod 2 has found a new refurbished store to call home. Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company has started selling its current, full-sized, relatively smart speaker in the Refurbished store in Canada. One is left to wonder what took so long. The piece says sales started in Refurbished stores in the US and many other countries a little over a year ago. Whatever the reason for the delay, it is there now, selling for $339 Canadian, a $60 discount off the usual $399 price. And finally today, Apple TV Plus has released a teaser for a video that almost nobody's going to get to see soon. Upload VR says the Cupertino streamer has released a trailer for Submerged, which you can catch on YouTube. Submerged is the first scripted Apple immersive video. It's kind of hard to call it a trailer, though, filled as it is with behind-the-scenes shots and commentary from the short's director. Can't really blame Upload VR. Apple's own video says it's a trailer. Maybe it's a movie about making a movie. That would be, well, not meta, but meta. What's there to be seen is impressive. Directed by Edward Berger, the Oscar-winning director of the film All Quiet on the Western Front, it focuses on some sort of disaster at sea and attempts to keep that from turning into tragedy. Water, tilting sets, more water. There's a lot going on. As for the presentation, Upload VR says the Apple Immersive Video format is 180-degree video with 8K resolution, stereoscopic 3D, and spatial audio. It is served from the Apple TV Plus subscription service with much higher bitrate than many other immersive video platforms. By now, you've no doubt picked up on why almost nobody is going to get to see Submerged anytime soon. It is made for Apple Vision Pro. So, yeah. Still, as one commenter pointed out on the site, it's neat to see new titles added. It means there should be plenty for people to watch once there is an affordable spatial computer from Apple on the market. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSChem. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.